So here in this problem, we need to find out the value of the given trigonometric ratios. Let us begin with our first one. So in the problem number 1, we have tangent of 19 pi over 3. Now we can also rewrite 19 pi as 18 pi plus pi divided by 3, which means we now have tangent of 18 pi over 3. So that's 6 pi plus pi over 3. Now we'll try to express 6 pi in terms of pi over 2. So that means we have tangent of 12 pi over 2 plus pi over 3. The whole reason we have done this because now we have an even multiple of pi over 2. So whenever we have an even multiple of pi over 2, so tangent will remain as tangent. So now we have tangent of the new angle, which is pi over 3. Now we'll also have to take care of the quadrant. So for this, let's go to our quadrant system. So since we have 12 times pi over 2, so 12 means we are in the fourth quadrant because 12 is a multiple of 4. Then we also have to add pi over 3, which will take us to the first quadrant. Now luckily in the first quadrant, all trig functions are positive. So our final value is going to be positive tangent of pi over 3. So that simply equals to square root of 3. Fine. Now we will move on to our second problem. Now we have sine of negative pi over negative 11 pi over 3. Here we are going to use the fact that whenever we have sine of negative theta, then this will be equals to negative times sine theta. Here theta is an allied angle of negative theta, meaning we can rewrite our given trigonometric function as negative sine 11 pi over 3. Fine. Now we'll try to reduce this. If we have negative sine, so 11 pi can be also expressed as 12 pi minus pi over 3, which is going to give us negative sine 4 pi minus pi over 3. 4 pi can be also expressed as 8 pi over 2 minus pi over 3. So here we have an even multiple of pi over 2. We already have a negative sign, so sine will become sine because it will stay as sine whenever we have an even multiple. So we have sine pi over 3. Now let's look at the quadrant. So we have 8 pi over 2. 8 pi means we are in the fourth quadrant, 8 being a multiple of 4. But we are also subtracting pi over 3 from it. But luckily pi over 3 is an angle which is less than pi over 2. So that means we are still in the fourth quadrant. Now in the fourth quadrant, only the cosine and secant are positive. Everything else is negative. We started out with a sine function. So that means our final result should be negative. So we have negative of negative sine pi over 3, which is simply positive sine pi over 3. And pi over 3 is square root of 3 over 2. Now let's go to the third one. We have cotangent of negative 15 pi over 4. Now we have cotangent of negative 15 pi over 4. We can use the fact that cotangent of negative theta, that's equivalent to negative cotangent of theta. Meaning our given trig function will become negative cotangent of 15 pi over 4. Now 15 pi can be expressed as 16 pi minus pi divided by 4, which is going to give us negative cotangent of 4 pi minus pi over 4. Then we can re-express 4 pi in terms of pi over 2 as 8 pi over 2 minus pi over 4. So now here we have a even multiple of pi over 2. So cotangent is going to remain as cotangent. We have negative cotangent of pi over 4. We will also have to look at the overall sign of our function. So we have 8 pi over 2, meaning we are in the fourth quadrant. And subtracting pi over 4, when pi over 4 is less than pi over 2, we're still in the fourth quadrant, where cosine and secant are positive, everything else is negative. So we have to consider negative value. The negative of negative cotangent of pi over 4, that's simply pi 1, because cotangent of pi over 4 is 1. Now let's go to the fourth problem. We have tangent of 11 pi over 6, which we can re-express as 4 pi over 2 minus pi over 6, which will be equals to, so we have an even multiple of pi over 2, so tangent stays as tangent. We have tangent of pi over 6. 4 pi over 2 means we are in the fourth quadrant. Also subtracting pi over 6 doesn't affect it. We are still going to be in the fourth quadrant where cosine and secant are positive. So we're going to get negative tangent of pi over 6, and our final value is going to be negative 1 over square root of 3. And moving on to our final problem, we have sine 5 pi over 3. This can be re-expressed as sine 4 pi over 2 minus pi over 3. So for we have sine pi over 3. We are in the fourth quadrant. So we'll have negative sine pi over 3. And the final result is going to be negative square root of 3 over 2. This is how we can obtain the value of a given trig functions.